that. And I'm going to choose one, and I wonder if they're going to speak to me. I wonder if an affirmation card is going to pick me. And affirmation cards are interesting if we think about our thoughts. Affirmation cards and affirmations can help us with unhelpful thoughts. So if we're having some thoughts that aren't so helpful, because lots of our thoughts can be unhelpful, affirmation cards are positive statements. They generally have positive statements on them, statements that say things like I am and I can, and positive thoughts that we can read. And reading an affirmation card may help to challenge some of our unhelpful thoughts. So when I talk about challenging unhelpful thoughts, what I mean there is if we're having a thought, for example, like, I can't do it. If we pull out an affirmation card that says, I am smart, or I can do it, that might push that negative thought aside. It might kick it to the curb. So affirmation cards are a great way for us to challenge some of our unhelpful thoughts, to kick them out of our head. Because once we have one unhelpful thought, unfortunately, another unhelpful thought may join it. And there may be a bit of a story building in our head, which can make us feel not so great. So using affirmation cards is a great way for us to manage our unhelpful thoughts. So let's see. So if you've got your printout, should have 2 pages. You can close your eyes and do a bit of a snake around and open your eyes whenever you feel ready and see what you land on. And I might choose one from the pile. So if you've got a pile like me, let's see what I choose. Oh, this is a great one. I get better every day. And I like to think that's true about me, because I like to keep practicing things. And the more we practice doing things, the better we get at them. So this is particularly relevant to our mindfulness practice. The more we do our mindfulness, our breath work and our meditation and our mindful movement, the better at it we get, because it can be a challenge. Things like meditation, particularly where we're having to be still, to be listened, to be calm, can be very challenging. So if we keep practicing things like that, things that are challenging for us, we will get better every day. And when things are challenging, sometimes some unhelpful thoughts may creep in that tell us we're not good at something or we can't do it. And if we remember the card that I just pulled out, I get better every day, the more we do something, the better we get and the easier things become. So if we're not so great at something at the start, the more we practice, we'll get better every day. So I'm wondering what you pulled out or you come across on your card, because there's so many fantastic positive affirmations that can help us with our unhelpful thoughts. Let me have a look. I believe in my abilities is a good one. I am valuable and I'm enough. That's some more positive affirmations that can help with our unhelpful thoughts. I can learn from my mistakes. I think that's one I got at the last session or the session before. It's enough to do my best. I can get through anything. I'm strong and determined. These are all fantastic affirmations to help with our negative self-talk and our negative thoughts. I grow from my mistakes. I don't need to be perfect. I have a positive attitude. And the one I chose, I get better every day. So lots of positive affirmations there that can help us with our unhelpful thoughts and help to kick those unhelpful thoughts to the curb. Hello from down here. We're going to do our mindfulness practice lying down. So if you want, you can have a bit of a read of your Still Like a Crystal card. So it basically says when we lie very still in Shavasana, and Shavasana just means lying down, as still as can be on your back with your hands by your side if you can. This can relax our body and our mind. It can slow down our thoughts and reduce our stress and give our bodies a nice relaxing rest. So today is all about thoughts. So I like that it talks about it can slow down our thoughts. So what do we need to do? Lying down nice and still in Shavasana, place a crystal. So I've got my rose quartz crystal or a similar item on your forehead. So generally something flat is good. That's sort of got a flat side. So something flat that you could pop on there that will stay on your forehead, because our foreheads are flat, but they do have a little bit of a curve. So place a crystal or a similar item on your forehead, shut down your eyes and be as still as can be. Keep your body very still for 3 to 5 minutes, that's a long time, in order to balance the crystal, enjoy the calm and the peace. So I've got my timer today. So we might start with 15 seconds. That's a good start because some of you may have never done still like a crystal before. So we will start with 15 seconds. So it is a good idea to shut down your eyes for maximum calmness and relaxation. So I'm going to pop the crystal on my forehead. And I'm going to start the timer, and it will have one little beep when it starts and then a longer beep when it stops. Okay, and see if you can feel the coolness of the item on your forehead. If you're distracted, if your mind is racing and your body's a little bit fidgety and you feel like you need to move or hop up, see if you can focus 100% on the feeling of the item on your forehead. Very good. How is that? Shall we go for 30 seconds? Because the handout says we need to do 3 to 5 minutes, which is a really long time. But I guess it's something that you can work up to, because it is hard to be still like a crystal for that long. But let's see how we go. So I might change the timer to 30 seconds. Okay, finding the smooth spot. Focusing on how it feels on your forehead. And you can always just focus on your breathing if you are feeling really distracted. Okay, so 30 seconds this time, lying as still as a crystal. Very good. How is that? Did that feel like a long time? I was a bit distracted by some noises. I could hear my belly making some noises. It's almost lunchtime for me, so my belly was talking. But I just tried extra hard to focus on the crystal on my forehead. So perhaps you could feel the coolness of your item, whatever that was, or perhaps you were just focusing on your breath. So when we are still like a crystal, just like this little person in the picture with something on our forehead, this can help to make our body feel more relaxed. It can help to slow down our thinking mind because we're focusing on the crystal, and perhaps it can kick some of those unhelpful thoughts to the curb because we're using our mind to focus on something else. Now, another mindfulness practice that we can do is we can use a mind jar, and you probably saw me use these a little bit earlier in the session. So as I said, the mind jar can represent our mind, or a calm jar. There's lots of different names for these. And the glitter can represent our thoughts when our mind's feeling a bit crazy and our thoughts are racing. This is kind of what it looks like. Perhaps we're feeling angry or we're feeling worried, and our thoughts could be all jumbled and racing around just like this. So there is another video that I've included in the resources for you to make your own mind jar. So that might be something that you can do with a grown-up, with mum or dad, or with your caregiver. They may be able to help you to make a mind jar, or you might have your own. So there's lots of, if you look online, there's lots of different ways you can make a mind jar. This one was made pretty simply, just with some glitter and with some water as well. So we're going to use this for our mindfulness practice now. So if you have your own mind jar, you might want to pause the video and head away and get your mind jar, or we can just use mine. So I'm going to pop it up where you can see it. So what we do is we give it a shape. And then we simply sit up nice and tall in lotus. Relax our shoulders. And just focus on the glitter. Watching it settle. Allowing our body to relax. And we might try that again. I might try and make a whirlpool this time. So you just kind of swirl it around. And let's see. Oh, yeah, great whirlpool. I won't stand up that way. Let's do it that way. Swirling, whirling. All the glitter settling to the bottom. Just like if we take some time to sit quietly, do something calmly, maybe focusing on our breath, perhaps just lying with a crystal or something on our forehead, our thoughts may stop racing and may settle just like this. So that's a great mindfulness practice. If you have a mind jar or you end up making one, this is something that you can use to help settle your own thoughts and your own mind. So our breathwork practice today is, first up, 5-finger breathing. So you might want to do this on the card, or you can actually do it on your own hand. So I might do it on my hand for the first run through, and the next run through we might do it on the card. And if you're doing this session with someone, you could do it together. So you could pop your hand against their hand, and then you could take it in turns or do it together, going around like this. So they're your options. So let's have a bit of a read. What does it say? 5-finger breathing. Sitting up nice and tall in lotus pose. And maybe I should explain why we do that. We sit up nice and tall so that we can open up our lungs and we can focus and we can be in the moment. Because I guess if we're kind of lying around and we're not sitting up nice and tall, we're not getting our full breath in and we're not focusing on the activity and we're not being mindful in the moment. So sitting up nice and tall in lotus, eyes open, slowly trace the outside of the hand with your index finger, that's your pointer, breathing in when you trace up and breathing out when you trace down. You can also do this breathing exercise using your own hand. So that's what I was saying. All right. So I'm going to hold up my left hand and I'm going to use my right hand and my index finger. So let's give it a go. Breathing in and breathing out. Remember not to race, because when we race, we're not being relaxed and calm and mindful with our breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in through our nose and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. Very good. Did you do that on your own or did you do that with someone else? If you did it with someone else, you could both do it together. Your fingers could follow each other. That would be a challenge because you'd have to do it at the same time. Try and stay in time with each other. All right, let's use the card this time, or if you use the card the first time, you might want to use your hand the next time. So it says start here, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. It's a great idea to do a little pause at the top of the finger too, and breathing in, pause, and breathing out. And you could go around and you could do it again. Excellent. So that's a really easy breathing tool. You could use your laminate, but you have your hand. Your hand is with you all the time. So that's something you could do if you were lying in bed. You could do your 5-finger breathing in on the way up, breathing out on the way down, holding briefly at the top if you want. Your hands are with you all the time. So that's a really easy breathing strategy or tool that is always with you. And if you're having unhelpful thoughts or thoughts that become worries, you could practice your breathing, your 5-finger breathing, to help you kick those unhelpful thoughts to the curb. All right, fingertip breathing. I really like this one. Let's have a bit of a read. So grab your fingertip breathing card so you can have a bit of a read along. Sitting up nice and tall in lotus, so our lungs are open and ready for our breath practice. Eyes opened, relax your shoulders, holding your hands out in front of you. That's a bit different. As you take a deep breath in through your nose, firmly touch each finger one by one to your thumb. Kind of rhymes, doesn't it? One by one to your thumb. Breathe out through your mouth as you firmly touch each finger one by one to your thumb. So the first time we're going to breathe in as we touch each finger to our thumb, and then the next time we're going to breathe out. So it's a really big, deep breath, isn't it? So it's going to be a belly breath. So remember the last couple of sessions we've done our belly breathing. So this one's going to be a big belly breath. So we're going to do a big breath in through our nose the first time we touch our fingers to our thumb. And then we're going to do a long breath out through our mouth the next time we touch our fingers to our thumbs. It's the big breaths that help us find our calm the quickest. All right, let's give it a go.